On the front lines of Eastern Europe, temperatures fall below -30 degrees Celsius. At that point, war slows down, and life itself begins to shut down. Weapons malfunction, vehicles freeze, human endurance reaches its limit. For centuries, Russia relied on one constant ally in war. That ally was winter. From Napoleon to Hitler, history showed that winter protected Moscow better than any army. But today, that alliance is breaking apart. This time, winter is not freezing Russia's enemies. It is freezing Russia itself. This war is no longer decided only by weapons. It is decided by logistics. And Russian logistics are collapsing. Reports from the front lines show a severe situation. Thousands of Russian soldiers are not fighting only Ukrainian artillery. They are fighting hunger, exhaustion, and extreme cold. In some areas, supplies are so limited that Russian units are using donkeys to transport food and ammunition. One soldier said they bought a donkey out of desperation. They had no vehicles left. They were holding 20 kilometers of front line. They said it was physically impossible. Many soldiers spend nights in makeshift shelters. They lack proper winter clothing. They lack food. They often lack ammunition. At this point, war stops being ideological. It becomes biological. How long can a soldier fight without sleep? Without food? Without warmth? Intelligence assessments indicate that psychological collapse is happening faster than physical freezing. Frostbite injuries are now beginning to exceed combat wounds among Russian troops. In the 21st century, soldiers from a major power dying from cold and starvation is unprecedented. The winter that stopped the Nazi army in World War II has returned. But now, it stands against Russia. A cold silence covers the front lines. This silence does not mean peace. It means collapse. When logistics fail, command structures break down. Orders lose meaning. Ideology disappears. Only survival remains. Military experts will study this failure for decades. It is a lesson in modern warfare. This winter marks a turning point. Winter is also harsh for Ukraine. Russia continues to strike Ukrainian energy infrastructure, especially around Kyiv. Snowstorms and power shortages make life difficult. But there is a critical difference. Ukraine has lived under these conditions for nearly 4 years. Its society adapted. Its logistics adjusted. Its population understands the cost. Russian front lines are now cracking. For years, the Kremlin claimed Russia could not be defeated because of winter. As 2026 begins, that belief has become a weakness. Winter has turned from a shield into a threat. Russia has deployed approximately 710,000 soldiers. On paper, this looks overwhelming. In reality, it is a logistical burden. Modern war is not about numbers alone. A tank without fuel is not a weapon. It is frozen metal. Ukrainian FPV drones target fuel trucks and supply vehicles with precision. A tank unit without fuel cannot fight. In the Kupiansk region, a Russian unit surrendered without combat. They did not run out of ammunition. Their vehicles froze. Their soldiers suffered hypothermia. Many Russian troops rely on outdated Soviet-era equipment. They try to survive in trenches under extreme cold. For Ukrainian thermal drones, soldiers gathering for warmth are easy targets. This is where Russia's quantity over quality doctrine fails. Modern technology and winter expose its limits. As losses increase, a disturbing trend appears. Russia can no longer replace its troops through normal mobilization. Instead, it is drawing from the most vulnerable parts of society. Elderly men, the seriously ill, the mentally disabled. International investigations report that people previously exempt from service are now sent to the front. The standard is no longer ability. The standard is being alive. This is not an accident. It is a sign of systemic collapse. War requires money. Russia is running out of it. The budget deficit has expanded rapidly. It reached $34 billion in 2024. It grew to $52 billion in 2025. Projections suggest $70 billion by the end of 2026. At the same time, oil and gas revenues have fallen by roughly 1/3. Every drop in oil prices removes billions from the budget. Russia is draining its national welfare fund to survive. The consequences are visible at home. Russia's civilian infrastructure is failing. Aging heating systems are breaking down. Entire cities face winter without reliable heat. Funds meant for modernization were spent on missiles. Sanctions limit spare parts and technical support. When homes freeze, propaganda loses its power. Cold and hunger create anger faster than battlefield defeats. One final irony defines this war. Ukraine operates a program called I Want to Live. It offers surrendering Russian soldiers safety, food, and medical care. Many of those who surrender are elderly or disabled. They receive humane treatment under international law. The enemy provides what their own state does not. This war is no longer only about territory. It is consuming Russia from the inside. The economy is weakening. The population is shrinking. Human dignity is being sacrificed. It is unclear who will win the war, but it is clear who is losing. The Russian people. History asks a familiar question. When a leader's shadow grows this large, how long can the country's light survive? Images from the front suggest that light is fading. Thank you for listening.